Okay, so today we'll discuss about Azure AVD interview questions what we have. Okay, say here mostly the basic level questions what we have is what is Azure AVD, what are the key components of Azure AVD, why we need to use Azure AVD kind of questions will come. So first we'll discuss this, then we'll go for the differences between AVD versus RDS. AVD versus RDS, how it differ from the AVD versus RDS, and Citrix wise also there may be some comparisons between Citrix and RDS. What are the differences we have? So these kind of questions also we would be getting. Say suppose if someone asks about what is Azure AVD, what we need to tell is, so now here Azure AVD is the Microsoft cloud-based VDI kind of solution which is going to deliver desktops and applications to the users. Say it's going to deliver applications and desktops are going to be delivered to the user. Okay, so from the cloud or hybrid kind of cloud also we can integrate, and like server sessions or Windows multi-session OS can be delivered to the users, and apps also can be delivered. Okay, so this we should able to tell confidently. So what is that Azure AVD? Then the next question is what are the components we have with the Azure AVD? So what are the components we have with the Azure AVD? So in the Azure AVD we have host pools, then session host, application groups, workspaces, user profiles, then Azure AD. Say Azure AD will play the vital role for the user authentication, or we can call that as Entra ID, or on premises also we can use the sync like Entra sync. We can connect. Okay, so then here we can integrate with the Entra ID. We can create or Azure Active Directory also, with the on premises sync also we can set up. For all these additional to this, we need to design even the networking also. So we need to have good expertise on the how we are going to set up the virtual networks. All that also we need to set up. Then, like we need to create the host pools. So what is the meaning of host pools? We have the group of collection of one or more session host. We are grouping in the host pools, and which we have two types of host pools: pooled host pool and personal host pools we have. Then on top of that, we are going to create the session host. The virtual missions which we want to deliver to the users, those we are creating as the virtual missions. And we are attaching that host user sessions and applications to the users. Then very important, we have the application groups. So we are entitling or logically grouping those like remote desktops or remote apps to the users. So in this also we have two models we have. One is desktop application group, and second one is remote app application group. One is DAG, like desktop application group. Second one is remote app application group. So like this we are going to deploy. Then workspace. Again, we can group those application groups also logically. We can group them into the workspaces, and users can subscribe to those workspaces while connecting to this, and they access their apps and desktops they can access. Okay, so for that purpose we have the workspaces we have. Then when we are going to deploy the agent, like we required Azure AVD agent and bootloader, where that is getting installed is on the session host VM. Like just like in the Citrix, we have VDI agent is there. So now here Azure also is providing Azure AVD agent and bootloader also we are going to create. Okay, so then like for the storage wise, we have FS Logics profile containers we are going to use, and with the user profiles also we are going to deploy. So which is going to handle the profile management is going to handle. Okay, so then even we can provide the conditional access at the Azure AD. RBAC also we can integrate uh, while delivering the users. Role-based access control also we can provide. So these are the key components we have with the Azure AVD. Okay, so then previously we have on the Windows, we have a RDS, but in the cloud base, we don't get like we don't get the access. Say here, deployment wise, on premises, we can use the RDS, but the complete cloud based solution from the Azure is Azure AVD. And management also, like Microsoft itself will manage the control plane and most of the load balancing, front door kind of things. Everything is managed by the Microsoft itself. Okay, and patches, updates also can be managed by, say it's a complete managed kind of service. And whereas in the scalability is little challenging in the on-premises infrastructure, but with Azure AVD, like it's easy to scale up also, and auto scaling also is possible. Okay, so then profile management also with the cloud-based FS logics, we can integrate. High availability also taken care by the Microsoft itself. Okay, so then for the on-premises in the RDS, we are going to use on-premises Active Directory we are using. But here in the Azure AVD, we can use either on-premises we can sync, or we can use the Entra ID also, we can use it. Security wise also, we can configure conditional access, multi-factor authentications, all these also we can use. Okay, upfront, which one will reduce the cost, RDS or AVD? Because upfront capital expenses are very less with Azure AVD. Only we need to pay for the operational expenses only. Whereas for the RDS setup, we require a lot of infrastructure, Windows servers, Windows licensing. All this also is a little expensive kind of thing. Okay, so if the users want on-premises kind of environment, then better to go for RDS. But in the cloud-based, more demand is coming, or hybrid kind of environment we are getting. So that is the reason we are going to use Azure AVD. Okay, then we'll get one more use case. What people are asking in the interview is, so what are the differences between Citrix versus Azure AVD? So what are the differences between Citrix also have the VDA kind of solution, and we have AVD. Say whereas Citrix is the leader in VDI, but Azure also is acquiring that market because it's a complete cloud based kind of solution. Okay, so which is mostly the feature wise it's almost same. The feature wise it's almost same. Here if you go for the Citrix, it provides on premises also, it supports hybrid also, it supports. But coming back to the AVD, it's a fully cloud managed service. It's a fully cloud managed service we are going to get. And management also, Citrix will take care the management components, load balancing, web interface kind of things. All these we need to manage. But if you go for the AVD, those all Microsoft itself is going to manage. But protocol wise, say Citrix is going to use the ICA, whereas we have with RDP, but high performance can be delivered by ICA itself compared to RDP. Okay, so that's and for the monitoring wise, we can use Director, whereas from the Azure Monitor, from this it's easy to manage also. For the monitoring also, we can use Citrix Director and Citrix Analytics for the monitoring. So now here Azure Monitor and Insights also we can use. Say when to use the Citrix VDA is enterprise client kind of applications can use medium level, and they want to deploy completely in the cloud kind of scenarios. For them, they're going to choose AVD. We are going to use Citrix has been chosen by the enterprise class kind of companies, and which they want the hybrid cloud kind of infrastructure. Then they're choosing Citrix. But in those companies itself, for the users, they want to give public kind of users from anywhere they want to access. Okay, so for these kind of users at the low price, AVD is also delivered and easy to integrate with the Microsoft 365 kind of things, and Azure services also easy to integrate. Okay, so these kind of differences we should tell between Azure AVD versus Citrix VDI. Both have their own advantages and disadvantages. Depends upon the requirements we need to choose. Okay, so then like a host pool is like group of those, or a host pool is a collection of those session host servers, like where we want to manage as a single entity. Okay, and we can create as a personal kind of host pools or pooled kind of host pools also we can create. Uh, say here, so here we can, we already discussed the steps of how to create the host pool steps also. Then we need to choose all the resource groups, regions, which type of load balancing we want. Okay, all these we need to choose VNet settings. All these also we can add. Okay, then optionally or maybe for the profile management, we are going to use FS logic also. So through AD, we are going to set up the group policy kind of integrations, and we need to set the VHCD locations mostly in the Azure storage account. We are using Azure files or NetApp files. We can use these all like through the group policies. We are going to control. And even for the packaging or applications also, we can use say on each and every session host, instead of installing, we can attach MSIX packages to deploy the applications also. And what is the advantage of enabling auto scaling for the session host is it depends upon the auto scaling conditions we have specified. Automatically, it's going to scale up, or we can give the schedule kind of times also. At that moment, we have more business load. Then automatically, it's going to schedule more number of session hosts. It can scale up. So that is also we can configure auto scaling also we can configure. What is the advantage is if the load increases on the session host servers, automatically we can start VMs. Okay, and even if there is no business, we can stop or deallocate that VMs also. And we can define the like our own business hours in our project. According to that also we can specify those. Okay, and more capacity buffer if we keep, always like VMs are ready for the login. Session host servers also created and those are ready to log in. Okay, and coming back to the algorithms, it's a very important question from the interview wise. What are the load balancing algorithms we have in while creating the host pool?
Breadth first and depth first.
Yeah, say here we have breadth first. Breadth first will whenever the user is connecting, like across the VMs that is going to be given. In the depth first the session host need to be filled. Then only it goes to
Next available
next available session host. The user experience is good with breadth first,
breadth first,
but the cost can be reduced by
depth first.
depth first. Okay, so now here we can integrate even the auto scaling from our Azure automation account. Then it's going to like all the data is going to collect, and based on the scaling plan, it is going to scale up those missions also. Okay, so based on that, what is the advantage of the auto scaling is we are going to maintain right number of session host servers. With that, we can reduce the cost also. And always, if the more users comes, more number of session hosts are going to scale up. With that, the performance also is going to increase. Manually managing all this is little challenging, but with Azure like it's going to be auto scale up. So with Azure, it can be auto scale up. Okay, so now here we have like a host pools, and on the client side we need like a remote desktop client or AVD client we want, and from this we are going to connect. And application groups are nothing but logically we are doing applications assigned to the users. Later at the workspace we are going to entitle them. Okay, so group of Azure VMs that serves as the session host. And we have two types, like a, personal or pooled kind of thing. With the pooled personal, we are getting dedicated, and pooled or session host kind of things. Okay. And what is the purpose of the session host is, like it's we are going to share that session host VMs with the multiple users, and we can run the desktops and applications, and those should be either joined to Active Directory or Entra ID, and we can scale up also those. Okay. So now here with the personal desktops, one-on-one, one-to-one kind of thing, whereas pooled, which one is cheaper, personal or pooled? Personal or pooled? Which type of desktops are cheaper?
Pooled.
Yeah, pooled one are the cheaper kind of things. And mostly the operating systems would be the server class kind of things. Okay, so then Windows 10 or Windows 11, whereas Windows 10 end of life is already declared. It's no longer is supporting. Okay, so then if you want to connect to that Azure like AVD, either through the browser we can connect, or Windows like a client also we can download, or based on the OS like Android or Mac based also we can connect to those desktops. Okay, and what is the role of Azure AD is for the authentications for all these we are using, and it provides conditional access, single sign-on. We can enforce security policies, most of the admin management, even with the Intune also we can integrate. Like these all the benefits we are going to get with the Azure AVD. And we already deployed using the like Azure portal, or we can use maybe ARM templates or biceps also. But even we can practice that through Terraform also. We can provision through the Terraform also. Like we should able to explain, we can provision those AVD through the Terraform also. Okay, the Terraform resources, what are all those also, we can deploy. And for the Windows 10 also, normal Azure VMs are not supporting multi-session, but in the AVD they have given multi-session OS. Okay, so there we can reduce the cost also for the Windows 10 kind of environments also. Okay, then while joining that session host, we have two options. One is Entra ID we can use to join, or on premises we have the AD, and we are going to sync that with the we can sync that domain with the Entra ID, and that AD we can use, and we can join our resources also to the AD itself. Okay, so now like for the small environments, they can use directly Entra ID. Like previously, it's called as Azure AD. Now we are going to deploy with the hybrid kind of, most of the enterprise companies prefer to go to use hybrid kind of environments they're going to specify, and we are going to integrate with the like a on-premises kind of Active Directory, group policy integrations, all this also we can enforce. Okay, so it depends upon the client requirements, how we are going to manage the AD. We have two solutions. One is Azure AD kind of like our Entra ID kind of environment, or we can use hybrid AD also we can provide. Okay, so definitely we required what are the ports, all these required also we need to enable on the NSG level, and those port numbers also, uh, like uh, uh, we need to have the we need what are the important port numbers also may be asked in the interview. Like we all know, RDP, we are going to use 3389 is the standard RDP port we are going to use. And mostly session host to that Azure AVD that's going to communicate using HTTPS. And what is the DNS port number is 53. Okay, so these all the port numbers we need to have, for all the ADP internally session host communication is going to happen over 443. and RDP is 3389. Okay, so then like here we are going to use the connections. All these also we are going to open, and like WebRTC also, we need to Azure WebRTC also, for the user experience. For that also we are going to redirect the traffic. The WebRTC port number is 3478. Okay, so like here we have to enhance the user experience while transferring multimedia kind of content, uh, when you are interacting with the Microsoft Teams kind of things. There we need to have the WebRTC also is required. Okay, so for that also, like what is the port number it is using is 3478. 3478 is going to be used. Okay, say we have the network security groups, if you want to deploy the session host. Okay, so what are the port numbers we need to open on your like a network security group on the session host. Okay, so we want to set up NSG. Then in that NSG we need to open the port numbers for 3389 443, then 3390 for the then like these are the important port numbers in the inbound rules we need to specify. Okay, in the outbound rules, mostly 443, 53 definitely we need to open, or any of the traffic also is going to open. Okay, so these port numbers, maybe people will ask us in the interview. Okay, so these we need to able to answer those. Okay, so then even we need to monitor the performance of the Azure AVD, all these also. We can use Azure Monitor or Log Analytics and Azure Advisor. So with this, we are going to collect the metrics, some of the metrics also, we may get that like we need to get the CPU usage, disk IO, network latency, memory kind of like these all we need to get it from the AVD. Like we need to get that from the Azure Monitor. We need to get in the host pool also. We have the metrics session host health status. We need to check the total number of used session hosts. Then we need to have the session metrics also, uh, how many number of disconnected sessions or user connections to sessions. Like these all the metrics also, like maybe session performance wise also, round trip time. Even in Citrix also we have the round trip time, latency to session host. Like these all the metrics we need to get it. And VM level, we have CPU usage, memory usage, disk IOPS, and network input and output per second also. We are going to scale up. Okay, so then for the logging wise, we are going to use AVD connections, AVD sessions, checkpoints, how the heartbeat for the communication. So these all the things we need to check that. Okay, so we can set up even the alerts also, and if any of that alert has been executed, the condition what we have specified, like CPU disk has been utilized more than 70%, 80%, we can send a notification also to the team. Like for that, in the Azure Monitor, we are going to use the alerts to specify those. And for the profile management, we are going to use the FS logics, and it automatically redirects that whatever that user data is there, or application data. Mostly we are going to use the Azure files. Okay, so where that's very fastly it's connect to the sessions, and easy to administrate also the profile management compared to roaming profiles. Okay, so that is the reason we are going to use FS logics for the profile management also. We are going to use. Okay, then like in order to secure our Azure AVD, okay, say we need to we need to secure like what are the best practices we need to enforce in our company also. Like we need to provide in the Azure Entra ID level, we need to provide the conditional access. We need to provide and we need to enforce multi-factor authentication also for all the users while accessing the AVD, and we need to specify conditional access policies also to restrict based on the location, device, or risk, and always give the least privileges users as per the cloud wise or one of the infrastructure level best practices. Always give the least practice, and we need to give the sometimes just in time temporary access also we can give, or we can limit that RDP access also we can give. Say then NSGs also we need to enforce. Then and so at the storage level also we are using the public access. But when you are connecting that Azure AVD session host to file share, better to specify the private endpoints. So private links it's going to connect with that publicly. We are not exposing those file shares also. Okay, so these all, and definitely we need to enable the encryption also at the like a disk level encryption is one of the best practice for the company's guidelines. These all we need to enable. Even on the FS logics also we need to encrypt our Azure files. And whenever the user is performing clipboard or drive redirection also, we can control them through AVD policies also. And up-to-date patching is mandatory, one of the security best practice we need to take care. And continuous auditing, alerting, monitoring also is required. And we need to enable diagnostics logs also for the setup. Okay. And proper backup we need to plan. Disaster recoveries also we need to plan. Okay, so then even we have discussed Azure policies also. We can enforce Azure policies for the VM encryption is mandatory. NHGs are mandatory. We need to apply these rules are mandatories in that. Our tagging can be our naming conventions also mandatory. This kind of compliance and governance also we can enforce in our environment for the ABD. Okay, so then how to back up our AVD environment, like we need to plan for the backups, and if any disaster happens we need to restore those also. So for this also we have the traditional Azure kind of solutions site recovery kind of things. And definitely the backup is required for the session host servers, for the FS logics data what we have, and for the images also, custom images also we need to enforce. Okay, so one solution for the session host servers is we can use the Azure backup solution. Traditional backup solution is there. For the disk we can take, or maybe we can take the snapshots also. Definitely for the personal kind of host pools or session hosts we have, better to take the backups. And like we need to use the FS logics level also. For the files also we need to have the Azure backups which required point in time, like we need to take the backups of those. Okay, our snapshots also we can take. And for the images, if you create a custom images also, for them also better to take the uh, better to share them in the shared image gallery. And even replications also better to enable. Okay, so then if any of the app failure, we can use the Terraform to redeploy them, and regular snapshots, all these also is mandatory. Schedule backup also we need to specify. Okay, so these all the things, so we need to specify in that. So then here we have the more intensive kind of applications we have. Like we need we want to deploy those kind of VM sizes. Say suppose the users are more graphical kind of users, like design kind of users we have. Whereas Azure AVD is supporting GPU accelerated session host also. Okay, so then in this we need to specify the like some of the VM sizes are getting with NVIDIA kind of support. All these also we can choose those VM sizes, and like maybe we have a NV kind of so we choose A class, B class like this. Some of the NV V3 this kind of GPU driver VMs we have. With that, if you use like if the user is going to use the high graphic intensive applications, he is going to get good performance, he is going to get that. Okay, so then like now on premises it's little expensive kind of thing with the hardware, but with Azure those are like we, compared to on premises, those are the cheaper kind of things we are getting. Okay, so even we can use NV series kind of VMs, and all these also are compatible with the Azure AVD. Okay, so next we'll discuss even Intune and Endpoint Manager also going forward. We'll discuss with Azure AVD. Okay, so then here we can deploy our applications also like with the AVD, but users are complaining slow login times. Okay, so we need to troubleshoot slow slow login times also we need to provide. Okay, eh, so here we need to like troubleshoot slow login kind of issues also. Say here coming to yeah. So now here we need to where users are complaining, they're getting some slowness in their applications. We need to troubleshoot like a slow performance kind of issues also. We need to troubleshoot. For that, first we need to check the like a monitoring kind of information where exactly we have the problem, and from the Azure monitoring and insights we need to get that, and which user session having the problem. Those all first we need to identify. And is there any, what is the size of the profile, and any of the profile has been corrupted. So these things also we need to check, and health also patching, and like we need to check the like any issues on the CPU performance. Like those all like we need to identify why the user session is taking more. Okay, so we need to use the help of Azure Monitor, and we need to check that bottlenecks like CPU, memory, any network latencies, bandwidths, and we need to use regions which are near to that user. From that, we are going to deliver. Then any profile related issues also, maybe large or corrupted profiles we have, and we need to profile cleanup also. We need to perform. Then like load balancing, and more sessions have been connected to the users, we can restrict the like allowing too many sessions to the users, and unnecessary like virtual channels, all those also we need to disable. And disk IOPS also, disk IOP level also, better to use the premium kind of SSDs also. And we need to improve the disk performance IOPS also, we need to improve. Okay, so these all we need to enhance in order to like avoid the slow performance kind of issues in the Azure AVD environment. Okay, so then like another one people are complaining is like users are getting AVD login failures. Okay, so now like we are going to create one like a SOP So here we need to discuss what exactly the problem why user is not able to login. Okay, so now here we need to check the user assignments have been there or not, and to the workspace and to the Azure AVD application group, the user has been applied properly or not, and we need to collect the details also, user location, time of the issue, and what applications user is trying to access, and we need to identify whether that issue is only for one particular user or for the multiple users also. Then we need to check that session host resource utilization also from the Azure monitoring, and what is the any network latencies also we have. Okay, so between those users also we need to specify, and we need to validate whether the license is there or not. Okay, and the session host and host pool status, then RDP connectivity test, profiles. Okay, so these all we need to check that. And even we need to monitor and from the log analytics also. I'll tell like in the next session, Azure Monitor also, we have some of the queries also, not only reports, we can run our own custom queries also that's called as, now every monitoring solution like Prometheus, all these also have their own query language. And from that query language, we can run those queries. So some important queries we have like here, they're going to check for that user connection, like where that username is, that particular user who is complaining. We can run that like query, and it will show the reports, all those. So like this here, we need to monitor it from the queries also. We need to check that, and we need to check on that on the session host logs also. We need to check and service is running or not. Okay, so these and at the policy level also, what are the final policies have been applied. Sometimes even in the Citrix also we have a like time synchronization. Then DNS also should be there. So these all we may be, and if the profile may be we can recreate the profile. So these all we need to use, and we need to check the what are the RDP settings have been assigned to the session host, and we need to check the performance at the disk level. Logs also we need to check from the Azure monitoring and network monitoring tools. So with this, we need to provide the solution. Okay, so mostly this should be the frequently asked question. One is slow logon. Second one is like users are not able to connect, then how to troubleshoot them. And security already we discussed like Entra ID, multi-factor authentication, enforcing conditional access policies, RBAC. Okay, then we need to support the hybrid identity sync, all these NSGs. So these all already we have discussed this and private link. Okay, RDP short path also is deployed. On top of Azure VNet, we can deploy Azure Firewall also. NSG is different, and Azure Firewall also we can use for the security purpose. And the images also, always security images better to enable, encryption also, and all the system updates we need to apply. And Microsoft Defender service also we can use for the security. Okay, say this is also like where we have the AAP also we can enable for the pure view. So with this also we can show the data whether it's confidential. Like this, it shows the labels also for us. Okay, then a drive redirection. Even in the Citrix also we have the policies to manage these uh, clipboard kind of things and drive redirection. These also better to disable for the users. These also better to disable for this users also. And we can use Sentinel also for the security threats. All these also intelligently it will manage. Okay. Then Azure policies also we are going to set up. Azure policies also we are going to set up, and backup also we need to plan these kind of security standards we need to enforce. This itself I have copied again. We'll discuss all this. Okay, I'll share this document also. Like before attending the interview, so just go through this document. Okay, so these all already we have. Okay, so then these all architecture and the design level scenarios we'll discuss in the next session. Okay, so we need to troubleshoot a slow login also. For the slow login, we need to check the profile optimization, unnecessary group policies also we need to remove, fire redirection rules also we need to disable, clipboard also better to disable, and we need to analyze the network latency, AVD logs, all these also we need to troubleshoot. Okay, so then we may have on-premises VDI, and we need to move that maybe on-premises we have that any VDI that's we need to migrate to AVD. That means we are going to use AVD itself in our scenario. Then first we need to analyze what is the first in the migration step we need to assess and plan the existing VDA setup. How many number of users we have, apps, which storage, session host, user profiles, how we are managing, and which of the things we need to migrate and which are compatible, compliances, and we need to identify which type of size of the VMs we want. All these first we need to assess that. After assessment, we need to prepare the Azure wise Azure AD or networking VNet design. Then which domain we want sync. All these also we need to set up. Then we need to create the AVDs, host pools. All these we need to set up. Then we need to configure the session host compatible with our on-premises existing infrastructure. Then we need to user profile migrations also we need to perform, and then migrate the user profiles on-premises to FS logics. These all we need to perform. Post migration also we need to test that applications, all those compliances, all these are met or not. Then slowly we need to remove our on-premises workloads. Okay, on-premises workloads we need to remove. After validation, gradually we need to remove the existing infrastructures. We need to remove that. Okay, so conditional access I'll explain with the Intune, and while explaining that we'll discuss the conditional access. Okay, so already we created the host pools, FS logics, MSX package. I'll tell auto scaling we have done, and monitoring also. I'll explain more deep into the monitoring things also. We'll discuss. Okay, so mostly additional to this, we should able to answer 3 to 4 use cases, specific use cases will take. These issues also we have resolved like that. We should explain in the interview. Okay, so these all the things we need to finish in the interview. We need to finish. Okay, so with this, if you prepare your own notes, it's very easy to answer ABD related questions. We need to prepare 4 to 5 specific use cases. These things we got in our project. Like this, go through some use cases that we can explain in the interview. These all generic kind of thing like security practices or slow performance kind of thing. Those are the generically we discuss. but specific to our application level, we should able to answer them. Okay. So I'll share this documentation, this MSI packages and monitoring, conditional access. We discussed Azure policies we discussed, but at AVD level, we can enforce the conditional access, we can enforce. Okay. Yeah, these we'll discuss in the next sessions. Even with the Intune also, we'll discuss.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So I'll share this video and this documentation also. Just go through once.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
Okay, sure.
thank you.
Yeah. So today that finished that lab.